brought to you by...
You're gonna get
Hello, friends. You didn't think I'd miss Halloween, did ya? Welcome back to ETF, and happy Halloween. Today, I wanted to get back to it and kick off the holiday with a cult favorite, visiting in its truest form, that introduces us to a kindly old grandfather who is actually the leader of a murderous satanic cult, which sacrifices its victims on Halloween. This story loosely follows this grandfather's grandchildren, as the cult's murderous influence affects each of their adult lives. I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a great big pile of shit. But when you sit down and watch a movie called Hack-A-Lantern, what can you really expect? Directed by Jag Mundra, it isn't long into this one that our young protagonist's mother smashes a pumpkin, and we get a small taste of how hilariously overacted every single moment throughout this film is going to be. The narrative lays on its satanic themes thicker than a peanut butter milkshake. The story immediately goes into the depraved as we are informed that, for whatever reason, after Tommy's grandfather murdered his dad, his mother was forced to marry the grandfather. I'm not exactly sure why the fuck this would be a thing, but it was the late 80s. Shit was a mess. I have to mention that the HD restoration on this film is quite impressive for a cheesy, low-budget cult film of the 80s. Every line of dialogue throughout the film is very clearly overdubbed in post, likely due to issues with the recording. Each line uttered from the lips of each and every character also feels as poorly delivered as possible, spelling out its exposition quickly and plainly. The mother cries her way through each and every scene she shows up in. The film is scattered with small moments that don't quite make any sense. In the first 10 minutes, the grandfather waves his arms around after his action is clearly over, like he didn't know how to end the scene, so he just improvised. Then, our Tommy boy takes off his glasses and stares directly into the camera with crazy eyes. Why? I don't know. People throughout this film make actions that don't make any fucking sense. The chick gets out of the tub covered in soap and immediately just puts on a robe and goes about her day. Why the fuck would you do this? At least fucking rinse off. Gah! Speaking of which, this film doesn't shy away from nudity in any regard, featuring not one, but two bare-breasted scenes in just a couple of moments. Every opportunity is taken to show off full frontal nudity, utilizing cult activity, shower and bath scenes, sex scenes, and anything else they can think of in the name of titties. The music throughout the film is your basic 80s synth horror tones, accompanied by one of the sickest 80s rock songs since Dokken in Nightmare 3. Brought to us in an oddly edited dream sequence that plays out the entirety of a music video. And If a music video in the middle of a scene wasn't enough, we get brought into a full-on stand-up comedy act during another scene.
Didn't you see the stripper in there? You should have seen her. She was great. She had like the biggest blue eyes you've ever seen. And boy, you know, she reminded me of one of those girls from the girly magazines. You ever see those girls?
Making me wonder if the only way they could get some of these actors was by promising them entire sequences that showcase their own personal act. As expected, our first kill scene finds a bleach blonde bimbo stripped naked and slaughtered by our devil-worshipping killer. And with a massive fucking trowel to the face. Unfortunately, the kill itself avoids the impact of the moment and cuts immediately to the blade stuck in her fucking face. Despite always avoiding the impact moments, the kills throughout this film are pretty fucking brutal, showcasing some great gore. The first few kills happen in broad fucking daylight though, managing to somehow not draw any attention. Maybe because it's a small town or something? I really don't understand this. I will say that they do make an attempt to keep you guessing who the killer is, making attempts to shift suspicion from one person to the next, never doing the greatest job of convincing us, but I applaud the effort. I'll give this film that there is some creative costume design on display throughout. They have a ton of fun putting together all these different varieties of costumes throughout the party sequences. The progression of this plot is all over the fucking place, following Tommy as he is further corrupted by the cult, his brother as the deputy trying to get the girl, their sister and her boyfriend, the mother trying to protect her boys from her Satan-worshipping father, and then the random plot twist of the deputy's son being a cult member in the final scene. I'm not even sure what the fuck I just watched. I know, I'm shitting on this movie pretty hard from a technical standpoint, but in all sincerity, Hack-O-Lantern is a film that takes some chances and tells a very different kind of story. Sure, its limitations and performances do nothing but hurt the overall experience, but they also make for one hilarious horror movie. Personally, for the right audience, I think this is the perfect movie for Halloween. I'm giving Hack-O-Lantern a strong B. Honestly, this one technically deserves an F, but I have to give it points for being ridiculously entertaining, despite not quite knowing what it wants to be. If nothing else, this is one that's fun to watch with others, and provides enough tits and gore to please any true fan of the genre. It will definitely make a nice background movie while you either hand out candy to trick-or-treaters, or just mack it with your girlfriend on her parents' sofa while she babysits her little brother. Well, friends, that's gonna be all for now. If you enjoyed this video, or you have suggestions for more films that you would like to see covered in the future, let us know down in the comments below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already, and click that little bell icon to be notified on all of our future content. If you want to help ETF keep making content, please consider supporting us on Patreon. You don't have to give a lot, every little bit helps us stave off the darkness, and gets you some fun little rewards at the same time. Until next time, stay safe, keep embracing film, and thanks for watching.